I'm assuming we're streaming now? No, nothing? Uh-oh. Interesting. It's not willing to play the intro. Severance with Joel and Michelle. My name is Joel, and with me as always, my lovely wife, Michelle. Say hi, Michelle.
Hello.
And we're here discussing Severance Season 2, Episode 4, Woe's Hollow. How'd you feel about the episode as a whole?
It was a good episode.
You liked it?
Yeah.
I felt like it was such a weird departure from what the show is, that it was either going to be like an instant classic episode that just didn't feel like the rest, or a big miss. And I feel like it ended up landing. I felt like it was a big risk. I saw a thing, before we get started, I saw a thing about how people shouldn't talk on podcasts as if their theories are correct. Like somebody complaining on Reddit that you shouldn't be calling the innie Helena just because you think it's Helena based on clues from the first episode. And with the reveals in this episode, I feel like there's no reason not to stick to your theories. That's all. I kind of got turned off by that, thinking, well, maybe I should just call her Helly then. But no, it seemed pretty obvious from the beginning. I feel like she really hit it well, though. So, anyways, my first thought at this one was, how did they transition here? Any thoughts on that? Like, I guess we're assuming by the end of the episode it's not a simulation.
I don't think it was.
Right, like it was really outside.
Yeah.
So wouldn't the innies or the outies have to agree to going to some remote place in order to be transitioned there? And if so, wouldn't they be wondering what that has to do with work?
I would think so.
Right. So I don't know. I don't understand the logistics of that. I just thought it was interesting.
Okay. Like
how they convinced the Audi to be like, meet me at this lake in the middle of the frozen forest. Okay, where do you start on your notes, sir? What do you got at the beginning?
Is this like on YouTube or something?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Can you take it off me for a second?
Yeah. Go on. Yes, this is on YouTube. Irving is on a frozen lake and sees Mark on a mountain. Thoughts? What did you have at that point?
Oh, I was trying to pull it up.
Oh, you want me to send you the link? I can do that. Yeah, one sec.
Irv is on the middle of nowhere with a Russian-like vibe. Oh,
right.
There's Mark on top of this snow mountain. Irv is on ice.
Oh, sorry. I saved it on accident instead of sharing. Let's see. One sec. Michelle.
No. I'm pulling it up on the iPad.
Oh, does that go to my number then?
I just wanted to know if I could just like look up the YouTube channel and find it.
Yeah,
Is it live?
I just texted on there to that iPad. Yes, it's live. Yeah, he's on a frozen lake, sees Mark up on a mountain. I thought it was funny that he's kind of on thin ice, as he's literally on, well, I guess it's not thin ice. It seemed pretty cold out there. My immediate thought was that this has to be some sort of team building situation, and within minutes that was confirmed to be the Ortabo. Did you find it?
No.
It didn't come through as a text?
I don't get your messages on the iPad.
No, I sent it to myself.
Oh, no, it doesn't come through like that.
It didn't show as a text?
Oh, no, it didn't notify me.
Yeah.
I had to go into it.
That's what I was saying. You should be able to find the link from there.
Did this turn off? It's not lit up.
Yeah, go ahead and turn it on.
I didn't push the button underneath it.
Okay.
I just noticed it 'cause I just moved it back.
I guess it's possible that it's dead.
It just turned back on, though. I turned it on, though, in the beginning. I
don't see it.
It's on. It's lit.
It's not showing on the sensor there. Is it? This is good stuff. Yeah, that's not showing. And then when I click it here, it's still not showing. Hello, hello. I got nothing from this one.
Was I not on the whole time?
Probably not. We'll just start this again in a minute. Let me get this mic situation. What do you mean we can fix it?
Can they hear me?
No.
For real?
I don't have the mic on because these actual mics don't work properly. Like there's a delay and it's off. So this is the mic that we're actually using. And this one's not showing up on here now. So that means we have no audio. I'm going to turn it off for a second.
Check.
This is why I spent 2 hours trying to get this sorted out. There, it's working again. Go ahead and clip that on there.
So what was the problem?
Doesn't matter. It's working now, is the idea. So just pop it on there. We're back on the split screen, and we're going.
Oh, we are back on the split screen.
Yes.
So it was good that I checked and moved the mic.
I guess so, sure. Let's go with that.
Oh my gosh.
Just ignore the magnet and just clip it on there, on the back.
Ignore the magnet.
Yeah, ignore the magnet and just clip it on.
Oh, no kidding. Look, guys. I was taking off the magnet, but it's an actual clip.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Riveting stuff.
Oh my
Everybody
gosh.
watching.
Who's all watching? That's why I was trying to pull it up on here. Oh, it did. Yeah, I did get your link. I cannot get it.
Because this is how a clip works.
I did.
From the top.
I did not say from the top.
Like a normal clip. You ever had a chip clip before? This is the most ridiculous beginning to a podcast. I swear to God. What in the world is happening?
I did not. That was not like a...
Michelle and I are still working out the kinks on podcasting together. We'll get there someday.
Kinks?
Where it just works.
That'll be our next topic. I'm just kidding.
Anyways, can you tell me what you have up to them being on the ice? Because that's as far as we've made it in this episode.
Look at that.
Don't show me. Just tell me the thing.
No. I was going to show you. It's playing it live in the text message, the YouTube thing. I didn't even open it yet. So I didn't know it did that. Okay, I said Irv is on the middle. Oh, so when I took my notes, I was talking into my phone while taking it, so it didn't get everything.
So are you able to translate that for us? Or do we need to translate that for you?
I am. After I probably read it, then have to go back for it. So I said, Irv is in the middle of nowhere with a Russian-like vibe. So I think I'm allowed to say that. Like just with his hat and just like, it seemed cold. And when I think of Russia, I think that maybe it's cold and wintry all the time.
I think it's also cold and wintry in Russia. Yeah, go on.
So his vibe with his little Russian hat. Anyways, so this is just the very beginning. So at first I was like, where are they? I thought it was a dream at first, but as it goes along, it's more reality. And then it was just the most casual conversation. Marcus, is that you? On top of the...
shouting from a mountain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know how far they had to have been?
But that also tells the absolute silence. You know one thing we didn't see in this entire thing? An animal.
There was a dead seal.
That's right. You're right. My bad. I immediately assumed it had to be a team building exercise, and as they kind of confirmed in the post credits thing, it was like a corporate retreat for the innies. Like, you want to go outside? Here's outside.
I wonder if they're going to tie in The Office, because they obviously have Pam from the first episode, knock off Pam, you know, and...
Was that the first episode?
Or what we just did before this, that's what I meant, when I did not feel good.
Yeah, Michelle didn't feel good last episode.
Anyways, but what if they do it like Mr. Milchek, he's like Michael Scott, but a complete different bipolar opposite of Michael Scott. And this is like when they go on the booze cruise.
Did you say bipolar opposite?
Something like that. But when Michael Scott takes them on the little cruise or the little retreats, what if they tie in to like The Office and Dylan Stanley? Because of their stature.
Sure. That's what's going to happen. This is going to be a tie-in to Scranton.
You never know.
He's trying to climb up the hill to the cliff to get to Mark, and he runs into Helly.
Yes.
And somehow this is why I started to think this was a simulation, because it was so easy to get to the top.
What do you mean by Oh, okay.
I had thought this was happening on the Lumen floor for a bit.
This reminds me of the Hunger Games.
In what way? I haven't seen it, so tell me about it a little bit.
Okay, so if you saw it, you would know.
Or you could tell me a little bit about it.
I'm not good at explaining stuff like that.
She's not.
Okay, let me think.
Fair enough.
So that one's kind of in the Hunger Games. It's kind of like a simulation, I think.
Kenny G said sup Don Tiva, so I'm just going to have to say sup Kenny G.
Who's Kenny G?
I really appreciate your saxophone music. Go on. I assume it's that Kenny G.
Maybe not. I feel like Kenny G is a... Oh, I'm thinking of Kevin G from Mean Girls. Oh, it's Kevin G. From the Mathletes. Come on. We watched that.
So we were talking about Severance.
Sorry. And then you wanted me to explain how I thought the Hunger Games, I was getting Hunger Game vibes.
Uh-huh.
So it's like all these people are from different districts, and then they all have to fight like once a year in the Hunger Games. And everyone is pretty much going to die except for the last person standing.
Okay.
And they have all these like kind of sponsors that give them money. So they got to like...
So it's like a race.
They got to like win them over in a way, yes.
Yeah.
And so...
It's like NASCAR.
It's like a stimulation?
Simulation, okay.
Simulation.
So they don't actually die?
The
losers?
They do. They do.
So but
it's
weren't there multiple movies? How can there be multiple movies with only one main character surviving?
I don't want to spoil the first movie.
But the main character has to survive for multiple movies, but
Correct.
only one?
No, they switched it up in this first one.
That's cheating. The
Anyways.
rules, as you explain them to me, were that
I
there can
know,
only be
they
one
kind
survivor.
of decided,
So who
they were
decided that
getting
rule?
such great ratings, because it's like people watch this. They watch the rich people
Are you
watch
talking
the
about
Hunger
within
Games.
the context of the movie or within the reality
Within
of
the context
world?
of the movie.
Okay.
And so these people are like fighting, they're showing their skills and everything. Katniss Everdeen, the main character, she like
Apparently we just need to talk Hunger Games.
we do. We should watch this tonight. But I'm trying to explain to you this simulation.
Okay, go on.
Anyways, so next thing you know, they have their people that help them get ready and dress, and they're kind of like counselor, like their guidance, whatever person.
Okay.
And you got all these rich, fancy people, like you're talking about like peasant poor, where they're trying to find a little loaf of bread to eat or give it to the little animal. I don't know.
Right, movie poor versus movie rich.
Yes. But like these, anyways, so next thing you know, they like just go out into this like world. It's regular like going to the jungle, or like say like a scene is like set like in Hawaii or something.
Okay.
But they're kind of like in like at least for the first movie, they're like in like a foresty type place, and it's like they say go, and then everyone begins, and someone can choose to, the people that are watching from whatever place they're located in, there's like a grid around them.
So this is like a almost like a Truman Show situation where everybody can see what's happening.
Yes.
They're living out like a reality show. That's kind of what I was assuming was happening here, because I didn't think they could. Like the first question I asked, how do they trick the Audi into being willing after what just happened? How are they able to, especially Mark S., how were they able to trick Mark, unless they're showing this to us out of order?
That's a good point.
How were they
These
able
are
to
the
trick?
innies, though.
Yeah, right. But they also woke up right there on the mountain. How does that work, if not the Audi standing right there on the mountain?
They probably have in the security room
Do you
some
think there's
fancy dial knobs again.
Do you think there's one that would pause the transition to where the outie is shut off and the innie is shut off, and then they carry the innie to the place they want them to wake up. But they were already standing.
That's a lot of work.
Bert was standing up.
They don't have that much staff.
I don't understand the logistics of them getting there. Irving was standing up when he woke up on the ice.
Right. That I don't know.
So,
unless they like took an elevator and they went to the next floor, and here we are in this
But that would have
magical
to be a
world.
simulation. You can't go outside from inside. Like, you can't go down and then you're outside and you see the sky above you.
So they took them somewhere. Yeah, they probably like drugged them and then they woke them up somehow. Because Dylan was like,
paused.
whoa, there's no ceiling? You know?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he confirms that they don't know what outside is until now. I knew there would be no ceiling, but this, wow, kind of thing. Yes?
Oh, I just put that they were playing some really cool music, and it reminded me of church music.
Are you talking about the music for the TV on the cliff?
Yeah.
I was listening to the Severance podcast today, and they were talking with the composer, and he kept trying to make the Muzak version of Severance music. Muzak, like that. It sounds like that, where it's like really bad, like almost sounds like digital 80s kind of.
Oh,
you hear the song, but it's not a good version of the song.
Yeah.
He said that Ben Stiller kept saying worse than that. And bring it.
Okay. So yeah, it was kind of like a Catholic church song.
But it was the.
Yet it was like, what was this?
The song that what's her name sang in season 1.
They worship Kier.
The Kier is.
Kieran.
Kier is good, etc.
Okay, next.
Mr. Milchick from work. Come on, that was great.
Yeah.
This is Mr. Milchick from work. They are innies.
First they were through the TV on the mountain.
That's what I'm saying. And the first thing that he said is, this is Mr. Milchick from work.
Oh, he came in, on the thing. Yes. That's what I noted.
They're innies.
But
That's all they know is work.
Before that, Joel, I noted that how is the TV on? It's not even plugged in anywhere.
That's fair.
But unless it was a battery-operated TV, but I haven't really heard of battery-operated TVs. But maybe in Lumen, they manufacture battery-operated TVs.
Or they have a battery pack right there next to the TV that we didn't see.
Did they just push it up the snowy mountain?
This isn't From, where there's just power that goes to nowhere. Like this.
How did they get the TV up there?
The same way they got the people up there?
But there were no...
With a cart?
TV tracks. They had the people there with the cart?
They could have waited until they...
Sure, the snow covered it back up. Okay. So, yes... This is Mr. Milchick from work. I find it funny that he had to say from work because they didn't know where he was from. Well, maybe because their mind was all combobulated.
But they're innies. They only know work.
They're innies, so they would know him. Yeah, they know him. I think he was just saying, like, hello, I'm Mr. Milchick.
They only work. That's my point.
Right.
So it's funny to point out.
Wow, they only work. That's a kick in the... Okay.
He talks about the I wasn't plugged in.
Outdoor retreat team building occurrence.
Again, I was pretty stoked that I guessed that it was a team building exercise. I had already written that down.
You did.
It was the only thing that made sense, but it's kind of an interesting concept. That's supposed to be 2 days of walking in the Dieter-Egan National Forest.
I really like how that flows. Dieter-Egan.
Dieter-Egan?
What's DEET? I've heard of DEET.
Look, if you need more deets on that.
Ah, clever. See, okay, like so the Dieter-Egan National Forest. This is actually located in, I think, upper state New York.
Look at you doing some research.
I did. It's a national forest. It's not a national forest. It's a state park.
Somebody already went there on the Severance subreddit and posted pictures of all the places that were in this episode. I was so annoyed. I'm like, I want to do that.
You want to go drive there?
Now?
I can cancel the Valentine's thing.
We have to do the podcast.
Well, not right now.
Okay.
It would have to be like Friday night. But okay.
I was thinking that they get to be Kier Egan in the painting on the cliff. You know, when he's standing on the side looking down.
That's very fair. But that was before
they introduced Dieter.
Okay. I don't know if I skipped or whatever, but so there are books that Kier Egan wrote fourth appendix. Oh, so he's explaining this book, and he was like, "Where something in the fourth
passage?" Yeah.
Fourth appendix. He said passage.
Fourth passage. Yeah.
How did I get appendix?
And they had to go to the scissor cave to read the fourth passage.
Yes. I think as they were on their way to the scissor cave. The scissor cave. What do they do in the scissor cave?
Scissor.
Rock.
Paper. We're gonna move on to the next thing, which
I said this all feels like the Bible. Like when you hold
haven't
the Bible.
gotten those feelings yet from this, like from
this
the
is
show.
more
I mean,
godlike. I guess I understand what you're saying, but
here Egan is portrayed as their god. But again, my hypothesis on that is that he is the god to the
Illuminators.
of the innies that then take over the outies body.
Something like that, yes.
To where then he is their
Go
god.
back to the first episode when Rebecca, or whatever her name is, Devin,
Rebecca.
gave birth in the little cabinry stuff.
Oh, that
and
was
she
Devin.
met that person, and then it's like.
But that's outies or innies for different reasons. They're
Right.
severed for a different reason.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
Well, go on. I'm interested in what
that's
you're
all.
saying.
Okay, next we have random guy looks like Mark standing on another cliff.
Yep. It looks like Jack's
Scary,
dad from
creepy.
Lost.
It's like he's the arrow in the woods telling you which way to go.
Yeah, I agree with that. It literally reminded me of the first episode of Lost where you see Jack's dad, like, pointing or whatever, walking a certain way. And you couldn't really see his face. Did we think that was or wasn't actually Mark?
I don't know.
I don't know. This is the first the first episode of Severance that has had no opening credits. Just said Severance and moved on. So, I was thinking at the time it looks like a dream or a simulation. And I was like, this whole episode is going to be weird, isn't it? It'll either be a classic that doesn't address anything we want to see, like the reintegration. And I was wrong. Because it did later on, a little bit. I was also thinking this might be that reintegration. Like, maybe this is Mark's perception of what it would be like to reintegrate. But that didn't end up being the case either. Okay, what do you got?
Oh, nothing right now.
Where are you at in the notes? Because the next thing I had was them just walking and walking like it was Lord of the Rings.
Right,
I swear
same.
it even had that same look to the side of the path from Lord of the Rings where they had to like duck down and hide from the ghostly shadowed figures. And then we get to, after that, the second heli pointing to the cave.
Yes.
You have anything before that or after, around that? Okay. They go inside the cave at that point and find the book with IV on it, aka 4, so the fourth passage. And we start finding out things like Kier had a twin called Dieter. Why do I have in quotes, that's what those things are? I didn't understand what that meant. Do you know what that was about? I feel like it was Dylan. Okay, continue for a minute.
Oh, me?
Yeah. Whatever you have after we find out that Dieter was his twin.
Oh, I had the same thing.
Right, what do you have after that is what I'm saying.
It says now Dylan.
Uh-huh.
That's all.
Oh, the second Dylan. Now there's a me one. It said that they had to walk, as the kids, they went into the woods towards Woe's Hollow, and they had to walk basically they're going to have to walk the path of Dieter Egan. And then that's when they get to the second Dylan. I thought it was funny. He was dying trying to keep up. Dylan. Like, they would stop for a second, and then he'd, like, catch up, like, 15 seconds later, and he's like...
Yeah?
Like, just dying the whole time, trying to keep up with the thing. So, I guess my question at this point in the episode is, when is this episode? Because why isn't Mark reintegrated? It felt very much like when he had the procedure done, that it happened to him right then. And he started feeling the stuff of the innie and the outie at the same time. So I'm confused when this happened, because he couldn't have been reintegrated while this episode was going on, because he would have to be in the outie form. And they obviously agreed to give up some of their lives because they let them stay overnight. So I'm not really, you know what I mean? It's not really making sense. Why is he not reintegrated currently? Like, and how does it happen later on?
Yeah, I don't know.
When he's been the innie the whole time. I don't get it. Okay, anything else you got there?
No.
Let's see. I have Irving telling Mark that Helly was lying about the Night Gardener. You have anything in that realm?
Mm-mm.
Just whatever you got next.
Not much.
Well,
What do you have about Helly? What you just said?
I didn't have anything more about it there. I just
Oh.
had the next was that the seal had been killed.
The seal had been peeled.
Killed. The
Oh,
seal
the
that
animal.
they found? Yeah, that it was dead. And they were trying to figure out how that worked. Like, Mark was like, maybe that's what it looks like dead. Which was, again, an interesting reveal of how
Oh, I skipped that.
little that they know about the outside world.
Mm-hmm. There was one before that I had Irving starts noticing how Mark and Helly are interacting with each other.
Okay.
He's kind of watching them.
Okay.
Okay.
No, I'm with you on that.
Right.
I just thought I already said that. Okay, Irving getting aggressive with Dylan because Mark thought Irv had a bad Audi experience. Like, you could tell he was on edge this whole episode. Irving.
Right. Yeah.
I'm looking at my notes here. Let's see. They made it to the waterfall, and all four of them stand up top.
Is this before or after they ran into Mr. Milchek?
After, at this point. That's why I keep asking for you to just tell me where you're at in your notes. Like, I'm just reading.
We hadn't
through what I
gotten to
have.
that part yet.
What part were you waiting for?
I don't know. I don't know.
What did you have before it?
Just about the dead animal. We already went through
Yeah,
that.
so we went through that. That's why I was asking what you had next after the dead animal thing.
Out of nowhere appears Mr. Milchek in an all-white outfit.
That was pretty sick. I like the all-white outfit.
Yeah.
They had all the innies wearing black, which was like a stark contrast to the world they were in.
Someone said they were starving.
Yes, Irving was hungry and suggested they eat the seal.
My word said her Levine.
The autocorrect is not kind to doing things for the show like Severance. It tries to autocorrect most words and most names. Are you to the top of the waterfall yet in your notes?
If Irving says they're starving, and he said something about the tallest waterfall on the planet.
Yeah.
And I said it looks pretty small compared to Niagara Falls or something.
Right.
And then...
But in their world, sticking with that point, in their world, that might be the tallest waterfall they'll ever see.
Okay.
So for the sake of all intents and purposes, that is the biggest waterfall in the world. Just within the show. They tell them they provided the twins for them. Let's see, I just had the tallest waterfall part as well. The Indies in black, Milchek in white. Miss Huang is running the grill. Do you have anything in that realm?
No. I haven't gotten there.
Where are you at? I just caught up to what we were talking about.
Okay. Oh, nothing. I was just noting the campsite and the color it was, the blue. Okay, yeah, Miss Wong preparing the grill, a.k.a. the fire pit.
Right. Did you notice they gave him four ply tissue?
Yeah, that's what I had next.
Yeah, 4 ply? I've heard of 2 ply or 1 ply, but 4 ply? This has got to be the 4 tempers, right?
I don't know.
The woe, dread, frolic, and whatever the other one is. Okay, what do you have after that? Where do we go after that?
What do you have?
I have that they gave them forever torches.
Yeah, the torches
Uh-huh.
for their comfort and safety,
Right.
which will provide both heat and a light source. And then Mark, all mesmerized, said it's beautiful. Oh, wow. Oh, I put, oh, wow, so they've never seen fire before either.
That's very possible. Again, they're like new humans. Because again, he didn't know that was, he's like, maybe that's what an animal looks like dead. You know, they're guessing at this point. They've never been outside before. I have that Helly makes Irva a snow seal. So, like, she was trying to comfort him, I guess, with the idea that he was suggesting eating the seal before. That's all I can think. And then he tries to ask her again about what she really saw. And she, I don't know, she gives a look not of confusion, but of like, almost like she was upset with him.
Who?
Helly, looking at Irving when he was asking her what really happened. Tell me more about the night gardener, that kind of thing.
Yeah, she was upset. She didn't want to talk about it.
Right, but we find out why later.
Yeah.
Any Helly wouldn't have been that way.
Oh, I don't know.
You know what I mean? She didn't, I think, obviously we know they kept Helly away from the innies after she saw what she saw. She probably would have told everybody. It's really creepy. He tells her it won't change anything, but she doesn't budge. And he must know who she is at this point. She gave him a shell move he gave her like a long paragraph speech, and then she was like, okay.
A what?
Irving, he was talking to Helly. He gave her like a long speech explaining his point, and then Helly was just like, okay.
Yeah.
And then just like left.
She didn't want to hear it from him.
Right. Go ahead. It's just dead air, babe.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just waiting on your cues.
Well, go ahead. Tell
Where
me
we
what's
at?
after that. What do you
I
got?
don't know. Where were we at?
Campfire stories about Dieter.
Did we get past the snow seal?
We talked about the snow seal.
Oh.
That she was trying to like, kind of make friends with him.
Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We just went through all of that. Okay. My bad. I feel like we were watching some Indians in the West tribal movie with a little flute like music now.
That wasn't very loud. What are you saying?
I was reading my notes. I wasn't talking to the mic.
Oh, okay. I can hear you.
I feel like we were watching some Indian. Oh, I was just commenting on the music. I feel like we're watching some like Indian West tribal movie.
Yeah, I think
the
they're
music.
giving that vibe to the...
Can you go to you real quick?
Yeah. I think they're giving that vibe to the innies to be that kind of like tribal Native American style situation, especially with the desolate landscape of the middle of nowhere, snowy tundra and or forest. Let's see, what do we got on the comments here? Somebody said, or Jesse said, I got lost vibes as well. She said she was just trying to earn his trust back and get friendly with him again. As soon as she figured out that he wasn't going to let the night gardener thing go, she gets pissed. Yeah, I mean, obviously we know where this is going, but she was misrepresenting herself and he saw right through it. She was kind of doing like the sanitized corporate answer that he wasn't going to let go because that wasn't who Helly is, and therefore that didn't sound like her to him. And of all the people in there, he's one of the most finicky, by the book people, and he's going to notice if there's some difference between any of them. Next, we get to, we're talking about the campfire stories about Dieter. His eyes popped out with pus. Like, that was a nice, vivid detail that I didn't need to hear or visualize, quite frankly. Let's see, what do we go to after that? The sound of the waterfall drowned out the sounds of his brother. I feel like there was a dramatic pause in there somewhere that insinuated that he drowned his brother. Maybe I took that wrong, but it sort of felt that way. Let's see. That was the first place he encountered woe. So could that be what we're talking about here? Him killing his brother? Drowning him? Maybe? Maybe not? I don't know. It's so layered with all this... I don't even know what you call it. It's just layered with all this, like, symbolism stuff that it's hard to tell sometimes what the actual intent is versus something that they're making up for the mythology of the show, as opposed to it being like, this is a point you're supposed to take away from it. I'm never really certain. Let's see. So then the next thing, he encountered woe. Like I said, maybe that was my hypothesis of him drowning his brother, and so he felt woe after that. In the waterfall, it said that's where he drowned out the sound of his brother. Maybe that meant he literally killed him. He said he died then. You want to talk for a minute, and then I can check my phone? I can't otherwise. No. I'm having to fill here, so no, I can't check my phone right now, and I won't be anytime soon. Let's see. Next thing, we go to the half the height of a normal woman bride that I think was that for Keir? Or was that for Dieter? Because I thought Dieter died right then. I wish I had someone to talk to about this that could, like, help me out with their notes and, like, tell me what they're thinking on the other side of this conversation that I'm trying to have one-sided. Let's see. I think Dieter was Keir's innie, like the bad parts of him he wanted to sever from. Interesting. Would that make him his outie? Maybe. Okay, so they were twins, so that was literally the other part of him. So that's an interesting observation, that maybe Keir came up with the idea of severing to, like he did with his brother, disappearing. Interesting. Huh. Okay. Let's see. Could you grab me a Dr. Pepper, please?
Yeah, I don't think they're any cold, though. Maybe just some ice.
Okay. Let's see. So, we got the child-sized bride. We got the spoke directly from her eyes. And then he kind of wanted to leave it there at the end of chapter 1. Which, it felt like it was finally starting to get good.
I gotta go get the ice.
Oh, no worries. Thank you. Let's see. Helly thinks it's funny that Milchick told them all it's true. And goes into one of the funniest scenes of the whole episode. Where she's laughing that the moral of the story is that he melted into the forest because he masturbated. Which is definitely a very Keir sounding point. Let's see. Marshmallows. Oh, he's mad about the comments that they're having a good time under this premise. I don't really like ice. You're good. Thank you, though. Thank you. Yes, he's mad that they were joking around that we're having a raucous time laughing about it being masturbating in the forest, and that's why he melted into the thing.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about Keir. They said that Keir
I get
yeah,
that.
that's
Yeah.
what I'm talking about.
I've got to say the word a bunch of times.
Oh, it's what they said in the show. What? I didn't write this show.
I'm aware of that.
So you're embarrassed about me
No.
saying masturbated?
Okay.
Anyways, they throw the marshmallows in the fire as a punishment.
Wait, where were we?
We're in the marshmallows getting thrown in the fire as a punishment.
I know, but I had to use
I had
the
to fill.
restroom.
Okay, well, go ahead. Go
Well,
back
I'm
if you want.
back.
I'm good. Hit it.
Oh, you can go back on the thing. Hold on. Which part are you at? Marshmallows. Oh, because they were laughing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. You said we often laugh at what we don't understand. I said, first of all, Miss Wong and Mr. Milchick are wearing the same sweater.
Yeah, I think it was like almost like a uniform between the good guys, the innies and the management. Almost like
Just they had a nice sweater on.
almost like Star Wars or something, where outside they're wearing, all the stormtroopers are in white, etc. Maybe something along those lines. Yeah, they continue laughing.
Did you say he said marshmallows are for team players?
Yeah.
And Dylan, they don't just hand them out. Let's see.
Yeah, he's trying to incentivize Dylan with marshmallows after he gave him access to his Audi's wife, and I don't think the marshmallows are on the same level. I think he was bummed out initially, but I think he realizes that that's not really much of a threat. Oh no, you burned the marshmallows. Next thing I got is Irv is mad about them liking each other. Like, he's clearly bothered that he's giving her the goo goo eyes, and
You think he's jealous of that? He's gay.
yes. And here's why. Because Bert got taken away from him. He had that.
So what, now he wants Mark or something?
No, he's jealous that they get to have what he had.
Oh, I thought
And he
was
doesn't get to
just
have it
mad.
anymore.
Oh, okay.
That's my interpretation. I'm thinking
Okay.
that he's looking at it like, why don't I get Bert here to make goo goo eyes at?
Right.
They were enjoying themselves doing that. And then he goes into the tell us about the night gardener again.
Right. I had the same thing.
Uh-huh. What do you got after that?
Helly's dog at Irv. I think that should be Dig. When he said we all know Irving's upset because he can never see Bert again and he's really lonely.
Yeah. Uh-huh. And then Dylan tells Irv to go fuck himself. And he leaves angrily. I mean, it felt like there was a rift happening there because he's just not buying Helly's stuff. He's just not buying it, her story. And he's determined to make her own up to it. And it's weird that Mark is so not interested. When he brings it up, he's just like, oh, whatever. Like, as opposed to, well, yeah, what was this night gardener like? It seems like it should have held up to questioning a little bit. What do you have next? Because my next comment is ridiculous.
I put the tensor shadowproof.
Okay.
Wait, if you talk, don't you pan it only to your screen like you said earlier?
It depends if I'm going to talk for a while.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, no, I don't have anything currently. I was just waiting for what you had after Irv leaves angrily.
That's what I just told you. Tensor shadowproof.
Oh, with tensor shadowproof. Okay. Did they say that, or were they just?
That was
just
my
notice?
observation.
Okay. The next thing I have is Dieter's penis might have become a carrot.
Okay.
They were talking about what it would become if he became a tree, and maybe it became a vegetable or a fruit or something, and they determined it might be a carrot. Oh, this is when we get to Helly and Mark in the tent. Like you were saying, this is why they would be shadowproof, so that they could get away with doing this. Now that we know who Helly is, that it's Helena.
Well, we don't know that yet this far in the episode.
No, I'm saying now that we know that, because we've seen this episode, we can extrapolate a little bit more about this scene, in as much as that's why they would give them tents that were shadowproof.
Okay.
So that they could do that, because she obviously went there with that intent.
Okay.
She might have even been part of why they did this retreat. Because what if Helena wants a baby?
I have no clue.
No, I know. These are thoughts I'm having while I'm watching the episode. What if Helena wants a baby and she's willing to pretend to be her innie to get knocked up by some dude she's never met?
That's weird.
Yes. That's what this show is. It's weird. She's like, sorry if it's distracting you from looking for your wife. She's feeling him out, like, to see if he is more interested in the outie or the innie. And I feel like this is another one of those tests of, like, which one of you is more important. Like, I feel like she's teasing for the innie to be as important or more important than the outie. Go on. What do you got next?
You can go on. I'm rereading some of my stuff real quick, because I think we covered it.
Okay. Yeah, we're just at them in the tent, I'm assuming, at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So go on. What do you got?
Oh, nothing at the moment.
Did your notes just, like, stop after you finish a point?
No, because I scroll through up and down, and then I don't know where I get in my notes.
Oh, shoot. I'm checking mine off as I go through. That might be easier.
I literally have checked nothing off in my notes.
Well, that makes it impossible to go through. Yeah, I thought you were checking things off.
No, and so I'm constantly just playing with it, and I'm scrolling to see where we are.
We're still figuring out how to take the notes. It's really tricky because it's like, do you just recap everything?
Half the stuff I'm not even saying because you already say it. But then I go back and I see there's...
Yeah, we're just trying to start conversations off of the stuff that happens.
Distracting you from your wife.
Yes, you're almost
I have Hallie
there.
reflects on what she was... Hallie was reflecting on what she had said to Irving, thinking that she was too mean to Irving. But then Mark went and justified, like, but was it? Like, he deserved it, though.
Right. How do you think he knows... How would Mark... I put how do they at the time because it wasn't confirmed yet that it was Helena. But how does the innie know how to have sex?
I do not know.
No, I know. It's a conversation. Like, what would they think of that? Do you think that means that it's all instinct? Because, like, the first people wouldn't have had to know. Nobody told them. So it's just, like, instinct, I guess. It's kind of animalistic in that way. I mean, I guess Helly was kind of leading it on, but the long johns under their clothes was a special touch. Like all of them wearing full body long johns underneath their outfits.
Yeah.
Anything else for them inside there before we go to Irving running around in the woods?
No.
No thoughts on any of that stuff? Like you felt like it was fine or whatever. What were you thinking at that point? Were you thinking that it was Helly? Were you thinking it was Helena?
Oh, I had no clue who it was.
Were you even considering who might be trying to have sex with Mark, kind of thing? Like,
I was not considering that.
Oh, okay.
No, I wasn't.
What were you thinking about at that point in the show then?
Nothing. I was just watching it.
Okay.
That's it.
I was thinking maybe he was near the edge of the simulation as he was running through the woods because it like started. The music was weird, like it was going to end. But then it didn't, obviously. But, like, that's what I was thinking at the time. Normally, I just throw out my thoughts here so that I can relive them and potentially expand upon them with conversation.
Okay.
He ends up tripping and his forever torch is no more.
Who?
Irving, sorry. I always think Bert and Ernie. But Irving. When he went running through the woods.
Right.
He was yelling for Mr. Milchak and Miss Huang, and then he fell.
I have Irv walking through the woods with his sparkling torch. Because it looked like a real flame. It looked like this glistening candle.
Right.
I think Irv is going to go burn their tent down. That's what I thought.
Uh-huh.
He's looking for Miss Milchak. Mr. Milchak and Miss Huang. Mark and Helly doing it by the heater in the tent. OMG, of course Irving trips and his torch goes out, not hose out.
See, there we go.
Oh, I put that. I don't want to discuss that, though, on here. I feel uncomfortable.
Okay.
Whatever you talked about, I guess I had questions. See, that stuff was further down in my notes.
whatever I talked about?
Yeah, hold on.
His forever torch?
No, before that. Hold on, I have to scroll back up. I'm sorry, guys.
The near the edge of the simulation
Guys.
or the long johns or the sex? I don't know which one you're talking about. Those are my last 4 notes.
Right. Where did it go? I had something about, it was like a love affair with the innie and the outie, and I can't find it. I'm at the end of my notes. Hold on. They both want it for sure. Maybe she'll get pregnant as an innie. What a love triangle that would be.
Okay.
I don't know what I meant with that.
What you meant was at the time...
Because, no. Because if there was Miss Casey or Gemma, whoever the heck she is, and then say Mark he finds her, now he has this wife in an outie world. Now in his innie world, he's with Helly or something. So... does he ever find out that he's dating somebody else? Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, what, would they be having a love affair where they're just in a completely different life down there? I say down there as if it's like, whatever.
Well, yes and no. I mean, yes, because he just reintegrated himself on the outside.
Before that, though. I get that part, but besides that, if they weren't reintegrated.
If they weren't reintegrated, he could have an entire life down there where, if Lumen allowed it, he could marry Helly.
I get that.
And have
I get
kids
that. I'm not talking about that.
What are you asking?
But for example, like Dylan. Like, say if before he knew that he could have his wife come visit him.
Right.
Like, what if he had gotten a girlfriend down there, then his wife comes and visit him, and you got Dylan's, and this is my girlfriend. The wife's like, what do you mean? But Dylan G on the innie side has no clue. So do you think there are like...
That's literally what's going on with Mark.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Never mind.
No, I'm with you. I'm just trying to follow why you think it's a problem.
It's not a problem.
Right.
I'm just... Okay, never mind.
Well, no, I'm with you.
I don't know why. Yes, I get it. Okay.
Yeah, they don't know any better. So, like, it's ignorance. They wouldn't know. I had next that Irving must be so confused why the moon just disappeared. If they don't
I had something before that.
What did you have before that?
I put, so they're both like virgins, right? About to do it for the first time? Imagine that. Okay, and then Irving's staring up at the moon. Because he just saw the moon for the first time. Right?
Well, it was maybe it was the first time he saw the moon, actually. I didn't consider that.
Oh, so Helly's just trying to play Mark, saying, I'm ashamed of who I am on the outside. Because he was like, tell me who you really are.
And she's like, I was ashamed.
So maybe she was pretending to be regular Helly and just letting him know, like, I'm ashamed of who I am because my father's Keir Egan. And I'm a part of this whole thing.
I think she's...
That's what I think, though.
I think her outie is used to getting what she wants.
Obviously.
So she's portraying that through her ignorance of who her innie is. Like, she's not portraying her innie properly. And maybe that's because she watched, like, all the tapes. Did she watch everything, you think? Because she was watching the tape of her and Mark kiss. Do you think she's like, you know what? Play back everything. And, like, she's just watching through all the highlights of it so she could learn who they are on the inside and who she is on the inside.
I don't think she would have gone that far back. Who knows? Maybe.
She said she didn't like who she was on the outside. That's
Right.
literally what I had next. He asks who she is. Then says he doesn't care.
No.
What?
No. After Irving's staring at the moon, we have I'm ashamed of who I am on the outside.
Right.
And then I have Mark kissed Helly and he had like a flash, or like Miss Casey, Gemma's face. Like he was seeing
Well, they're not to
Helly.
the sex yet. In my notes, anyways.
Why do you like saying that word so still? Okay.
They're not
so
to the
I jumped
coitus
ahead.
yet. I mean, what are the
I jumped ahead.
I think so.
Oh.
Because we're just about there. He asks who she is and then says he doesn't care. So, like, they were talking about, like, she almost maybe thought about telling him who she was, or, like, on the outside. Like, who were you on the outside? And it seemed like she was on the brink of maybe telling him.
Right, maybe.
And then it was just like, I don't care. And then, they started hooking up then. And that's when the reintegration started happening.
So that's what that was?
That's so confusing to me, though, timing-wise.
I didn't think that was reintegration. Oh, maybe it was then.
Because he was blipping, and all of a sudden she was Miss Casey. Or Gemma, rather.
So what was happening then, he was integrated, and then they went back into his innie world. Maybe the integration wasn't happening yet. Maybe he was still in his innie world and outie world. But then as he's going through this, it's like kind of activating, and as he was having feelings for Helly,
right,
it made him think of like something triggered his emotions or something deep down that he has no knowledge of.
It wasn't even that. It wasn't even like the reintegration. It was just like him, like remembering him, making himself remember who he was married to on the outside, kind of thing.
I guess.
That's interesting. I hadn't thought of that.
I guess, yeah.
Well, tell me what I was saying wrong there. What were you saying?
I don't know anymore.
That's a great
You cut me off. I wasn't finished with it, but I don't really know where I was going with that now.
Nor do I. I was just asking for clarity. Yeah, I was just trying to follow what we were saying. I liked it.
Huh. Dang, it was really good too.
Yeah, I really liked it.
No, what I was wanting to say. I'm really trying to think about it. You can go on. I'm trying to think of what I was trying to say.
I don't know. All I know is where we go next, which is not that. So go ahead and...
Wait, go ahead.
Next was him waking up in a different forest, like clearly different forest than he went to sleep in, Irving. He went and fell asleep on that rock on the side of the cliff.
Right.
Okay, and then...
Excuse me, what was I thinking of?
Well, just go back to your note and read it again.
I did, but it doesn't...
What was it saying? Maybe it'll trigger me to remember.
No, because it was my thoughts.
I know, but you said them out loud, and we were talking about it. So maybe
I know, but I didn't finish the ending of what I was thinking. I don't know. It'll maybe come back to me.
Could you tell me what it was so I could remember? Like I could maybe.
We were talking about Miss Casey and the flashback stuff, but okay. Where were you at now?
Oh, you were saying that.
This is definitely a dream. This is definitely a dream.
Oh, the Irving stuff. That's when he woke up in the different forest.
Yeah. Irv wakes up to a snow-covered, burnt-like tree forest.
Yeah.
OMG. The cubicle from MDR is there now. Looks pretty cool. Like, dreamlike. Oh, they had the cubicle sitting there.
Correct. Yep. We thought about putting a desk outside today for the sake of this, but it's cold.
We weren't going to really do that. He wouldn't have actually done that.
It sounded like a cool idea.
I put, this is definitely a dream. Bert sitting across from him. And I put, the bride doll from the book is sitting at the desk. Oh, she was sitting there crunching her numbers, wasn't she?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Computer numbers were hypnotizing. That's an Irving wakes up in the forest.
Did you catch the numbers that were on the screen? It was 1457.
Like 7s, 5s, and yeah.
Yeah, 1457. And then there was something else with a number. The other one said Egan in the mix, like
the letters, the numbers.
And then he wakes up.
It was like alphabet soup.
Right. Yeah, it was kind of like what the numbers are on the screen currently, like where it was mysterious and.
I have Mark is waking up, looking for Helly. Oh, this is where we deep dive into this crazy part. But I want to figure out what I was trying to say. I don't know.
It was to do with.
No. I'm
trying to remind you. I'm not going to tell you my thoughts on it. I think it was you were talking about how when they were hooking up, she became Gemma, and you were trying to say something about it that wasn't the same thing that I was saying. That's all. Correct. I thought it was about him reintegrating and therefore seeing her, but you're like, what if it was this instead? That's it.
Right, but I didn't.
I can't remember what if it was. What if?
Right, I never got to say it.
So well, you said it, but we didn't.
No, I didn't. There was more. Anyways, we gotta skip over it because I'm really trying to think really hard on what it is, but I can't figure it out.
Okay.
I'm really frustrated about that.
I feel like that a lot in this show. I get frustrated with the content of it, where it's like it's hard to understand.
It's so like I feel like I have to explain something in 5 different layers.
Yeah.
For whatever that means, but
the show's like an onion.
God. Okay.
Let's see. Only him and Dylan left. Helly went to Woe's Hollow. And then we get, like, Irving creeping up on her.
Did Mark wake up yet?
Yeah, Mark also wakes up looking confused.
Okay, so skip. Dylan and Mark told Mr. Milchek Irving and Helly are missing. Oh, yeah. So Irvin wakes up, and then Helly, where the heck was Helly? She just left.
She started she was gone in the morning. That's right.
And then so they're both wandering, not knowing that they're going to run into each other.
I think he was looking for her.
Well, obviously he was looking for her, but I don't think she expected to run into Irving.
Correct. Yeah.
I said that wrong. Sorry. They're both looking at a waterfall. No, Dylan and Mark wake up. They're looking for them. And then they are calling out for Mr. Milchek. And Mr. Milchek comes and he tells them that Irvin and Helly are missing.
Jesse said, if you remember, write it down and share it next week. I'm interested to hear what you were thinking.
I am going to try to figure it out because...
I thought we were going in the same direction. That's the only reason I interjected there.
No, we weren't. It's on the lines of it, but I feel like I need to start that whole conversation over. I don't typically pay attention to shows like this and deep dive. This is very difficult for me.
I'm loving it, though. Like, we have these conversations and it's fine, but as soon as we get on, she's frustrated. She's like, I am
not a camera person. I am not wearing pants right now either.
Did you catch what Irving said to Helly when he saw her down there? Do you remember? When, he finally revealed himself? He said, hey, kid.
I didn't look at that yet.
Well, that's where we're at.
They were looking at the waterfall.
Yes.
They both just happened to be looking at the waterfall.
No,
and then
he followed her down there, in my estimation.
Oh, is that what it was?
He was looking for her because he's onto her. So, again, he says to her, hey, kid, which is what he says to them when he comes into the office.
Oh.
So he was looking for a reaction from her, like an eye-rolly reaction.
See, I'm not smart enough to think that far and know that.
Well, but then he goes, what are you doing down here? Now, on face value, you could take that to mean, what are you doing down here at the waterfall? But if you know what we know by the end of the episode, he's saying, what are you doing down here on the severed floor?
Okay, I get that. So how does he know? How does Irving have
that it's
any
Helly?
Idea about that?
Because he said Helly was never cruel. And she was cruel when she made that remark to him in front of everybody and embarrassed him earlier. And then he walked away. She was being mean. She even said it to Mark, like, oh, I was mean about
I get that. But how does he make him...
Any Helly was never like that. Any Helly was never mean.
That just explains, how smart I not am, because...
How smart I not am, don't Emma. That's my favorite clip we've ever recorded. That just explains how smart I not am.
Yeah, I did it on purpose, No, because I would never have thought that. I wouldn't have known to even think that. I think you pay attention more or you understand it more.
People. Yeah.
So I would be clueless. So I'm like, why do you think that? Continue. Wait, can I read my notes?
Yeah.
They're both looking at the waterfall.
Mm-hmm.
Why did he have to tell her she slept outside? I almost froze to death. Just trying to make her feel bad? Did someone prompt a question?
Well, he said Helly was never cruel. If you're not her, then who are you?
No, before that.
But she confirmed it was Helena by saying sorry, right?
I'm talking about he had to mention to her that I slept outside. I almost froze to death.
Meaning he didn't stay in the tent. Meaning he was sleeping on that rock in the forest.
Oh, okay.
He was just letting her know what his night was like.
Oh, I figured he was trying to make her feel bad. It was sarcastic.
That wasn't about her, necessarily.
I thought he was trying to make her feel bad because she made him feel bad when she made that comment to him earlier. So I figured that was a dig to her, to get her to feel bad, I slept out. So, I almost froze to death.
Knowing Bert, it was almost like...
It's
knowing
not
Irving,
Bert.
Knowing Irving, it was almost like him bragging that he did it.
Oh,
that he slept
I did not
outside.
think that. Okay.
What do we go to next? We go to the biggest scene of the episode.
I put Irv and Helly about to fight.
Yeah.
I'll take it over.
Go ahead.
So, actually, I didn't really take notes. All I got is when she's communicating with Seth.
He's drowning her, saying she's an outie.
Oh, I was so intense watching that. It was so intense watching that I couldn't take notes.
Yeah.
I figured I just remembered all, but you prompting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Mark, Gus, and Dylan are like, oh, Dylan's lips are. I was like, oh.
Yeah, and they're freaking out, like, stop it. And he
Dylan's glasses do not sit on his little, glass pieces.
Yeah, the
rubbers, they sit, on his nose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
after the second, or almost right before the third head underwater, she admits it to Seth. She's like, "Stop it, Seth! Turn it off."
And it's like, and Mark,
they call it the Glasgow block.
Glasgow. I thought I was just hearing that.
No,
And I was
Glasgow block. Boom, confirmed. She has been Helena since the beginning.
You just moved through that so quickly. I had so many notes.
You just said you didn't have anything. Go ahead.
Before we got to the scene of the fight.
You said they're in a fight, so we were at the scene.
Oh. Mr. Milchek. No. It's Milchek firing Irv hard. Oh, shoot. I skipped a lot. Hold on. Irv and Hallie about to fight. Turn back, Mr. Milchek. Hallie said. Wait, who said turn back, Mr. Milchek? Oh. Turn her back. Or turn me back.
Turn her back.
Okay, I'm thinking Dylan. Turn back, Mr. Milchek. But I was like, when did he say that?
No, turn her back.
Turn her back. Okay.
Like, make her
And-
the innie. Make her Helly,
And like
not
Seth
Helena.
was like, Mr. Milch was like looking like, and everyone's like, what the heck is happening? She's like, do it, Seth.
Yeah.
Like that's when she knew like she about to
admitted,
die.
Yeah, she admitted.
So
was
she
like,
had to, because she didn't want to die.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets on the radio and tells them to remove the Glasgow glass.
Glasgow block.
Whatever. Helly comes back. Oh, so after she's like drowning, after they remove the glass. So was it like a glass and then the water falls out and then she escapes?
No, Glasgow block Glasgow is like from Ireland, or like, yeah, that's in Ireland, or Scottish.
It looked like in the episode, it looked like in the picture of the scene, she was clearly in the
there's
water.
No ice in relation.
It looked
to
like
that.
there was a like glass shelf in there because it looked like you could clearly see she's on something.
I hear what you're saying, but Glasgow is like a Scottish or
I feel dumb.
Irish thing.
Because I was like, this is
It was
like
just
some...
the name of it. Like they had the Audi or the OTC, overtime contingency.
Mm-hmm.
This is just another one of those things.
I thought it was like Fear Factor. They're like, they're trapped in the glass and they're like, bring him up, and the water all drains. But no, you're right. She was still in the water and came out of the water.
Yeah. So
okay.
the interesting thing is then now Helly R wakes up for the first time since the OTC.
What's the OTC?
The end of season 1.
End of season 1.
When she was her Audi.
OTC.
Overtime contingency.
Oh, I thought you meant end of season 1, then OTC. Sorry.
The end of season 1 was when she went into her Audi and made the big scene at the event where she was on stage.
Yeah. Oh, that's the first. So she never came back. So you called. That's right. So you called it from. Let me look at my notes. Hold on.
But my next question then is: did Helena watch all of the tapes of? Like I was saying before, did she watch all of the tapes of her and Mark?
Maybe.
Any Helly, so she knew how to act. That would make sense, wouldn't it? So that she would know who Helly on the inside appears to be.
Like she studied her, or they just told her be nice.
Well, studied her. I think she would have studied her.
That's a lot of work to do. Mr. Milchek
Dylan
is
apologizes
to Irving.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Irving. I should have listened to you. At this point, Milchek is like mad.
Oh,
and
yeah,
he's
seething.
firing Irv hard.
Yep.
Like he was like, no, Dylan's screaming, leave him alone.
Yeah.
Oh, Dylan's like, and like they're just still walking. He's walking out of the forest. And like, leave him alone.
Well, they even had the stare down, which was like a wrestling poster side, like the side profile,
Right,
face to
they
face.
did.
Milchek and what did he say?
Oh, I said he's like reading him his Lumen Miranda rights as
Yeah.
he's exiting. It was to
And that's when he
be
tells him
as
to walk
if
in the
he's
forest.
never existed.
It'll
Not
be as
as
if
an
Irving B
innie,
never
not as an
existed.
Audi.
No,
Oh.
misunderstood.
Sorry.
He said it will be as if Irving B never existed.
Irving.
Irving B is the innie.
They have a different last name in real life.
Yeah, he does have a real last name in real life.
A different last name in real
No,
life.
Mark S is Mark Scout in real life. His Audi is Mark Scout. The innie is Mark S.
Okay.
So Irving B is the innie. Irving, something with a B last name, is the Audi. He's saying Irving B, the innie, will cease to exist like he never existed.
Oh.
So you won't remember, there will be no memory of any of this stuff that just happened.
Oh, so he's not talking about his Audi?
No, they're wiping the innie clean.
Kill him.
They're killing the innie. The innie is the only one we know.
I thought he meant...
We don't know the Audi.
He said you will never exist.
It will be as if Irving B never existed.
Irving B. Isn't that Irving B as an Audi?
No, Irving B is the innie. Mark S is the innie. Helly R is the innie. Dylan G is the innie. Their Audi people have full names.
Right, but it's still that person.
It's not. That's the whole point of the show, is that it's not the same person.
I get it. You're right.
Tells him to walk into the forest. That's where he says it'll be as if he never existed, and then he gets zapped and it goes to black. Like we do the, like he's getting, what is the word? Transitioning? Not really. That sounds different than what I'm trying to say. Like when they go in the elevator.
So they're just...
And it's like
they're like morphing into their...
Yeah, the Audi. So he gets morphed back into the Audi. My question then is the Audi standing right there? And is everybody shouting at him? And he's like, what is happening right now?
Wait.
Let's just play the scenario out. Irving transitions back to his Audi. His Audi wakes up exactly where he's standing.
In the forest?
In the forest. The innies are there still.
Why would he wake up there? He wakes up in the elevator at Lumen, though.
No, whoa, what are you talking about? It's not magic. It's not a teleporter. They have to start in the elevator to wake up in the elevator.
Okay, sorry.
No, I'm saying I want to understand it too. That's why I was saying at the beginning, how did they wake up in the forest?
It took them somewhere.
Right. So the Audi had to come there and then transition into the innie.
Well, so they probably have teleport powers.
No.
Lumen made.
We can't just make that leap. They've shown us nothing of teleportation.
Well,
within what's happened in the show, the Audi Irving should be standing right there, and Dylan G and Mark S and Helly R should be shouting shit at him that would make no sense to him and would be restricted information for him to know. But Irving's Audi is interested in researching all these people anyways. That's why he had Bert's address, because he had all these names written down of people that worked at Lumen, because he's researching Lumen. Maybe he's been reintegrated to some degree.
He had Bert's address?
Yes, in the trunk in his room. His dog Radar was in there, or Sonar, or whatever it was, and he opened up the trunk, and underneath the fake bottom was a thing that had all of the people's names that worked at Lumen. And he found Bert's. This was in the OTC protocol.
It was a coincidence, because I think because how does he know how does Irving know during that time who Bert was?
Because he's looking up everybody that goes to...
because they're like in any Audi world. They can see both things right now.
Well, no. The Audi, Irving, must have been trying to infiltrate Lumen by working there. And so in his Audi time, he was painting the exit elevator or whatever.
With the heart.
You know, that elevator. He was painting that. So he knows something of the innie world. Somehow. So he's researching about Lumen and finding... He could go sit there and watch who pulls up every day and goes into work when he's outside of work. Irving could. And so he could be making a list of every person that works there and then finding their Audi.
Fair enough. I would do
That's
that.
what I mean. Like, but he has some knowledge of what's... Or he's trying to figure it out.
I just figured it happened to just be in the trunk of whatever treasure chest he opened up, and he's like, what is this? And he gets there, and oh my gosh, is this my gay lover? So do they know they're gay? This is dad? Bert is Irving's dad?
The guy in the army?
Oh, that, yeah.
That was his dad.
But where'd the address come from? It's in the trunk.
There was a list of people that worked at Lumen, and he had been writing stuff on it. Like, he was making notes. Are you talking about
a trunk, like a treasure chest in the attic, or like the car trunk?
I'm talking about in his bedroom.
Okay,
his Audi's bedroom. He opened up a trunk from his closet and pulled it out there. Opened up, there was an American flag folded up. There was a picture of somebody from the military. There was a false bottom. He opened the false bottom up, and there was information about Lumen. And it was a paper of people who worked at Lumen.
In Irving's house.
No, Irving is in his own house.
I said Irving's house.
Irving is in his own house.
Yes.
And he pulls up the sheet. He pulls out the list of names of people who work there, and he's looking for Bert, because now he's his innie looking for Bertie.
Correct, but I'm saying this is in Irving's house that Irving is finding this stuff. Okay.
Yes. in his own
Oh,
house.
so he was specifically looking for Bert?
Well, Annie Irving was, but Audie Irving was looking into the people that worked at Lumen.
I get that.
So he had a list of all of their names and addresses. So when Annie Irving wanted to find any Bert, he looked up, he found that list and was like, oh my God, I have his address here. I don't know how to drive, but I have his address.
Doesn't?
He didn't know how to drive. It took him a minute to figure it out. Remember, he put it in reverse and didn't know what was happening?
Audie Bert?
Annie. We've only seen Annie Irving. We've only seen Annie Irving.
Ever?
Well, we might have seen him doing the painting as Audie Irving, but we've never talked to Audie Irving beyond you're being let go
Well,
at the
I
beginning
get
of this
that.
season.
Yeah, but okay.
We've never followed Audie Irving to see what he's up to. I'm suggesting he's up to something where he's trying to figure out what's going on at Lumen. Mm-hmm. And he worked there for a reason, to get inside access. And that's why he has this list of names of people that work there.
So I think he is really the FBI.
That could be interesting.
Men in Black.
Anything else on this episode?
Maybe.
Go on. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap it up.
Oh.
We're done here. What have we been going for? An hour or
I'm
something?
just chilling.
Right, well, I know, but I don't want to
we
keep
gotta stick to the topic.
Well, yeah, I don't. We can do a regular podcast if you want to do that sometime. But
Okay, cool.
we can just talk about stuff like our January. But we could get there. For now, we're talking about Severance. Anything else?
No.
Okay. Well, in that case,
This is how to watch TV.
I wish it had played. That would have been so sweet if it had worked, but it didn't. So instead,
And play over me? Why do you gotta cut me off?